And we're going live. Hey everyone, it's Jess and
it's Anna Maria.
We're coming to you live today to talk a little bit more about getting jobs at work from home, so remote working, and pretty much, how to keep yourself engaged and build your career during this COVID-19 crisis.
Correct.
So obviously we will be answering quite a lot of questions for those of you who are on. We're going to keep it really brief today because we do know that it is Good Friday. So we don't expect, a lot of you to be on here chatting with us, but we're just covering off a couple of things to then prepare you for next week when we do our official live post. So this was just a little bonus one. So obviously a lot of you are really engaged with our resume writing tips, so we probably won't cover off on that today.
I think it would be a better idea maybe after Easter we can touch base with you guys. We're just doing something really small just to answer your questions. If you're if you're tuning in or something, and then we're gonna do our next live. We'll be talking about resume writing and some approaching interview tips, and we're doing as well. We have an ebook as well that we're gonna have soon. Am I correct, Jess?
So the ebook is ready. It's up on our website for sale. We'll be running a competition this week and next week. So drop a comment down below, tag a friend. It will be a tag a friend type competition. We'll just be picking the winners at random. I think we're giving away 10. So that will be fantastic. It's a really all-inclusive document that's going to cover off pretty much everything you need to know around job interviews. So it's a job interview tips book. Hey, Pascal. Hey, Ashan. Hey, Mohammed. Hey, Vipin. So good to see you. Antoine. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing everything correctly. So drop us your questions, but I did want to cover off a few things. So obviously we all know that right now is the time to actually have a strategy for your career. Take a serious approach, because if we muck about and don't spend this time wisely, what could happen is when all of those jobs that obviously people have lost come back onto the market, you may find yourself in a bit of a tough situation and you won't be prepared. So what we're trying to do is make sure that all of you are prepared, that you have an amazing resume, that you know how to interview well, you know how to find jobs, you've got maybe a friend is a recruiter such as us to help you through that process, and really take it more seriously. So many people spend like $40,000 on their degree and then they spend zero on their resume. So that is pretty much old school way of getting work. A lot of the graduates these days are investing in professional resumes. They know that that is the piece of paper that's reviewed for you to get a job. If you're not getting calls back, let me give you one tip. I know what it's probably going to be. It's probably going to be something to do with that CV. And I'm not saying find online free templates. A lot of these template generators can look beautiful, but at the end of the day, it's all about the content. And if you don't really know what your job skill requirement, different language that's used. So if you're finding yourself and you're not actually sorry about that, just an email popped up. If you're finding yourself stuck, then make sure you seek professional advice, okay? So, we got some questions coming through and I will get back to them. It's been a long time since we met at the Expo at Federation Square. Yes. So that's the graduate job expo. It's the engineering and IT expo. We really don't know what's going to happen with that this year. Obviously, a lot of event organizers are in the same boat as us. We will be delivering the events that we're running with Microsoft Online. I only just found this out yesterday, so you guys are the first to literally know. Have not shared this with anyone yet. So the IoT meetup and group will be taking it fully online. So we're still organizing how that's all going to go into play. So we got a question for Submit. My question is, LinkedIn jobs or Seek jobs? Where do jobs come first? Your views on this, please. Okay, so as a recruiter, obviously we probably do go for Seek as the first point of call.
Yes.
Seek, they've been around for a very long time. Obviously LinkedIn has as well, but they've been around for a very long time, and I guess the way that the platform is organized and the way that the jobs seem to reach the candidates, we just find you'll have more success posting there on Seek. I think LinkedIn is great, and a lot of people really use that job search and application part of LinkedIn, but I think it's a bit more for the networking side of things. And plus, for a business, sometimes if you do post a job up on LinkedIn, I love getting people contact me personally. That's great. But for some businesses, I think they do find they get overwhelmed. That's what our clients tell us anyway. So it's been a long time. Okay, cool. So if you've got any other questions as well, don't hesitate to drop them in. We're doing this simultaneously on Facebook as well as LinkedIn. So hopefully you all can drop in a comment there. So when it comes to things like working remotely, some really important factors are going to be a really steady internet connection and also a quiet space. So the types of jobs that I think are available on the market at the moment are things like remote, receptionist, remote online customer service person. The tech jobs are all still there, remote developer. Remember, if you're working remotely, why not explore opportunities that are overseas as well, as long as you're able to commit to the time difference. So keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to being a candidate going for a job interview live, so virtually over the internet, keep in mind the space and the quietness and the ambience and your phone connection. So if you're going for roles where you're going to be on the phone a lot, like any sales-based roles working from home, I've spoken with a lot of candidates this week because they've been interested in our customer service role, and a lot of noise in the background with things like pets. I would never discriminate someone based on anything that's their personal life at home, or obviously a lot of you can live with many people and you've got big families, and that's great. However, just know that in an interview setting and when it comes to work and business, if your home is not set up in a way where you've got enough quiet space, it's going to really affect your ability to actually work from home. A lot of people have families and they want to work from home, and that's fantastic, but just try and actually think, what is the customer, what is the person on the other end of the phone hearing, and does that give across a professional approach? And if it doesn't, you might need to find an alternative solution. That could be library, if the library is still open. You'll have to do research, because I don't know what kind of buildings and cafes would still be open, or public spaces that are quiet. Even if it's the Ford building, maybe that's a better place for you. I'm not sure. So you'd have to look that up. How long an ideal CV should be? I believe it's about 3 to 4 pages long maximum.
I think as well, it depends as well how much of work experience do you have.
Yeah.
Always remember, guys, you don't want to overwrite too much pages on your resume. Or regardless, though, if you have good experience, it's always good to show and have your career achievement, what you have done, and your what you have succeed. But the other opportunity as well is the cover letter. The cover letter should be like a letter that you're promoting yourself and your skills, your achievement, and who you are. So the recruiter, when he's reading your your resume and then going through your cover letter, will be like, oh, you know what, I want to meet that person. So it's how you're promoting and how you're marketing yourself. It's really important.
Yeah. So, yeah, obviously it's a case-by-case situation. A senior executive, I don't feel they should have a 1-pager resume. A graduate probably shouldn't have a 3-pager resume. It's going to really depend. Like I said, stop. I really want to almost say to people, I know it sounds I've got a vested interest and that I'm biased around the professional resumes that we do offer. But I'm telling you now, you're going to get, and I say this because I want to help as many people as we possibly can, getting a professionally written resume is always going to yield the best outcome. People are so hell-bent on trying to do it themselves, DIY. I mean, if you've ever DIY'd anything, like making those cakes that you see on the YouTube videos, or painting your home, or building a couch, or whatever it is that you're wanting to make yourself, you're probably never going to be able to do it as well as a professional. And why would you risk your career on trying to do it yourself to save yourself a couple of $100s when you could end up actually getting a job faster? And 1 week's different of getting that job, you could get it way faster. And if you had have done it yourself, you might have waited weeks and weeks, which is costing you money. So you're actually losing money. and then you might only get those average jobs and the average salaries. So I think people need to start treating it a little more like how they invest in their education. They don't just rely on a self-taught education. You can't just say I've got a degree because I taught myself online. It's always great, but having actual, credentials and something professional is always going to yield a better result. So, and if you just absolutely cannot afford a professional resume, we do have a resume tips ebook coming out, which will be very affordable for all of you. So do keep that in mind. But I really want to emphasize and stress, because at the end of the day, my job is to try and help people get work faster, better, higher salaries, promotions. I work with everything from senior executives from some of the biggest companies like across the globe, right down to a graduate in their very first job. So, the experience, the amount of resumes that I've seen, the fact that I know what clients look for is going to make all the difference.
It's very important as well how you present in your CV and yourself into a recruiter. It's like going somewhere very, very nice, and you need to impress. So it's very important how you present in your CV. CV, it's really, really important. That will be able to unlock a lot of doors and have a better lifestyle, and better salary as well.
And someone's just come through with questions around like cybersecurity and stuff while you're from home. Be ultra diligent about any links that you're getting at this point in time, because do keep in mind that hackers are having an absolute ball just stealing money from people. Also, you've written here, Sumit, I heard that news that big companies like Google and Tesla have banned Zoom for work from home meetings because of security issues. So what is the best software for working from home? So look, Google actually have their own Hangouts. So they've got a video there, so you can always connect with that. Tesla, they're notorious. He's notorious for being ultra aware of things like, facial recognition. And we do know that TikTok has recently been accused of actually stealing basically your face, right, is a map. And you've got little points, whatever your nose is, wherever your eyebrows are, it paints a picture of who you are, your identity. So when you move to the side, it knows your profile and it can identify you. And some of these software programs, like we saw with the Face app, where you can age yourself, they were actually stealing those facial points of your face to then use it maybe possibly for ulterior motives to track people and know who you are. The same thing is being accused of TikTok, that they are using your face to basically say, oh, that is Jessica, even without knowing who I am, that they can maybe connect to cameras all across the city and identify and track you and know who you are at all times, your age, possibly just painting a deeper, in-depth picture. It's really a breach for yourself. So just keep that in mind with any app, like what we're using now possibly could have those features. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think you need to really understand that your data is pretty much gone from the day that you signed up for any social media account. So just keep that in mind, but be ultra diligent and do be safe. But just know that in many cases, obviously I'm not saying don't do your research, always look into all tech products. And we do that. So with the program we use, of course, we have our tech team assess whether or not we think that this is the best option from a security perspective. We were given a green tick, but I always take everything when it comes to security with a massive grain of salt, like a rock of salt, not just a grain, like probably a rock of salt, those Himalayan rocks. Writing feedback upon the reference check. Check them out on LinkedIn, get their work email, make sure you send a follow-up saying, hi, just like to confirm that we spoke on the phone earlier today regarding that reference check. Like, do your due diligence. I've had this before where I've actually had to tell clients, and I'm very transparent and honest with the way that I do business. If I'm not satisfied that that person was who I feel they are and something just doesn't seem right, it's not adding up, I will let the client know my reservations, even if it means us maybe potentially losing a sale or a deal, because at the end of the day, our reputation is more important than any of that could be.
I think it's very important to do a reference check. So when you are going for, when you're past the last stage and you're very close to get your job, put your reference, and it's very important to double check them in LinkedIn, the current employee. I would say, it's very important to make sure before you hire this person that they're gonna be the right fit for your company, the right value, and because afterwards it's gonna be a long term. Regardless, though, it's gonna be a probation, but you don't want after just to let them go. They want to have a growth development and be the next leaders. So highly encourage reference check. Is 110%. Everyone needs to do that. It's no negotiable. I think
it's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
When it comes to you as a candidate and your references, don't include them in your resume, because what can happen is companies may just ring those references up right away from day one. And if your reference is constantly getting calls, and particularly if they're someone more senior than yourself and they're constantly getting calls on verifying you as a reference, it can be inconvenient. And plus, you just don't want to pass on the contact details that you don't know who's reading that resume. So please ensure that you don't include that, because otherwise you'll just end up having your reference turn around and say, look, enough references. Particularly, that's why I say maximum 10 job applications, because your reference just being equals, it's a nightmare. Okay, cool. So yeah, we are pretty much coming to in a couple of minutes. We're going to probably wrap things up. So do get your questions out now, because it's only a short video today, being Good Friday. The question is, what type of resume? Everyone asking about the resumes. We're going to do resume part 3 next week.
Next week it's going to be only resume.
I just need to keep on saying one thing I need to make clear to you. Clearly, we're getting so many questions around resumes because, let's be real, you don't know how to write a resume. Most people do not know how to write a resume. So what does that tell you, right? You can either try to become a stock market trader, right? Or you can go see a professional and they will deal with your money financially if you're looking to invest. Would you rather risk it and just attempt it yourself, or get a professional to do it? If we're getting so many questions around resumes, this is exactly why I keep saying, people, it's not your profession. Maybe you're a software developer, maybe you're a project manager. Stick to what you know best and get the people who are professionals in their space to do it their best. You know what I mean? I just really want to stress this. Because at the end of the day, the people who we do deal with who are getting the great jobs and the great salaries, I'll be real, they're 9 times out of 10, they do have those professional resumes and they invest in themselves and their career. It's a real mindset change. You need to just accept that this is the best approach in doing it. Just like anything, if you're going to buy a house, it's a should be getting a consultant to come in and check, survey the property, make sure all is good, get a lawyer. You get a lawyer to check over legal documents. Why don't you have a professional recruiter or resume writer look over your resume and redo your resume? It just is a no-brainer. And if I keep getting so many questions on resumes because so many people just do not know what they're doing, and it shows with the types of CVs that we get. And any employer who's listening to this now can vouch for me and say that sometimes the quality of their resumes are it's just so poor. And then people are sitting there scratching their head wondering why they have to apply for so many jobs when they had just invested a couple of $100s into their resume. They would have had, and these graduates, and they're, even schools are sometimes paying, and some companies, to get their resumes redone because of the coronavirus. Some of the companies have partnered with us to do up the resumes of their staff who've been let go. So I know that it sounds biased, but at the end of the day, for us, the most important thing is that our candidates are getting work and that you guys are in work. That's the core to our business, is placing people into jobs. So yeah, we've got a vested interest. That vested interest is to get you on a higher salary and get you into a job faster and with a better company. Cool. What about website? Yeah, once again, you don't want to be including too many links and stuff on your resume because it can actually be filtered out from some of the software programs because, safety and security, 1,000% vouch for it. So Sirhan, Sam, that yes, they can, the resumes, a lot of people don't know what they're doing. So please, if you are an employer and you know that you just can get inundated with a lot of poor resumes, imagine all those people who we could help actually get into a better career, right? Just accept it, realize, and take what I'm saying. And if you don't believe me and you don't want to listen and you don't think that I'm true and being real with you and you think it's just all about us getting more and more resumes, at the end of the day, that's not our core business. So it doesn't really bother me. I've got to tell you because my job is, career advisory to so many people. I've got to be real with you and tell you what your competitors are doing and let you know so that you're really switched on. So I really love the show. Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you. Sorry, I'd already been asked. What is the market like right now, Daryl? Market right now is changed, and I think we need to accept that it's probably changed for the long term. A lot more companies are now thinking digital, online. I think it's a lot of companies have downsized. I've even heard of some stories of companies downsizing even despite that they have seen an upturn in their business. It has changed. Whether it's for the better or for the worst, I think you need to really look at yourself and make that decision for yourself. Do you want this to be an opportunity or do you want this to be a disadvantage? In a couple of months, there's going to be a very big opportunity for those of you who've prepared during this time. So I think, if you
could. It's always good just, be well prepared after this finishes, because I know we're going through rough times and it's not easy being isolated, quarantined, and working from home or, searching for great, unique opportunity. But even when you're searching for unique, good opportunity, when you have a good, when you're getting a course or upgrading your skills or, upgrading your resume, that can turn up to your favor instead of like one job and, posting, applying 100,000 candidates. You're going to apply for 10 jobs. I'm just going to put it that way. 10 jobs.
Maximum 10.
10 jobs. And then, I'd say you can get success at 9, out of 10, 9 or 8.
Yeah.
And then you can have the variety, what will be suitable for me. And then it'll be that will be a game turn over to your favor instead of being like sitting and be like, oh my God, okay, I'm very keen to go for a job. And I've been applying for so many jobs. Ooh. And it's always good when you applying for jobs, sit down, read very, very, very carefully the job vacancy. Is that matching for me? Is that suitable for me?
Yeah.
What is it? And then write down where you have applied so you will know and be prepared. Know like we're giving a call and say, yes, we're calling from this vacancy. And you're like, oh, yeah. And preparing that you don't know them. That's, always you need to be very well prepared and organized.
Yeah. And we do on our website. So I have to tell you the different resources that we do have. And you can maybe find other resources like this, but I'll just tell you the ones that we've got. On our website, you can create a user account. You can log all of the different jobs that you kind of like and those that you applied for. So you've got a record and you can keep track. Also on there, once again, we've got the job interview tips ebook, which has just come out, just launched, which we'll be running a competition. You can purchase that. You can learn quite a lot from that book. With the resumes, we do have an ebook coming out. However, in the ebook, it's going to have such a big emphasis that just doing it yourself is not recommended. Okay, it's not recommended. It's like me trying to tell you to do the electrical wiring of your house. It's like, try it. You're risking your own career, and I'm here to help you guys. So with your work, with your opportunities, once again, try and see what you can do differently to make sure that you're prepared for opportunities. Don't just keep taking a chance on your own life. Your career can determine the whole, trajectory of your life, your family's life. So I've got to just stress to you anyway that enough is enough with trying to DIY your career, okay? Now, we're going to finish up. So if you do have any other questions, please do not hesitate to ask us. We'll try and get back to you on the DM. Check out reesby.com.au to buy a resume. Check out our jobs. Check out the other services. We do have one-on-one, personal career coaching. So if you wanted to book that in with either of us, we can certainly sit down and train you up on your job interview skills and tell you where you're going wrong. It's a 1-hour thing. It's done on Zoom, which we also can have available on your choice. So Hangouts, or if you have any video call option of your choice, WhatsApp, we're cool with any, whatever you're more comfortable with or whatever your organization has permitted you to use while you're at home. So we're going to finish up here. If you've got any other questions, don't hesitate to give us a call, and we'd love to see you guys all join us. We'll be doing some live sessions next week, and we'll be doing some workshops as well.
And always, guys, remember, I know it's very hard, but see it as a great opportunity to reflect to yourself, and your things will go into your favor end of the day.
Amazing. All right. Well, we will be posting this up everywhere. So please like, share, if you can, subscribe to it. Drop us a comment. We're going to have this competition for the ebook. So tag a friend below and you will get into the draw to win 10 of these job interview tips ebook. It's a really long document. We've spent a lot of time putting that together. It's got everything. So I'm sure you're going to love it. So drop a comment, tag and like and share, and we'll catch you in the next video. See you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.